Three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to Tree'sThree here on SPORTSTREE LTD. Folks, I'm your man Connor Outrey. We're going to jump right into this week's edition of Tree'sThree with our news and notes. Starting out with some CFL football, Calgary Stampeders beat the Montreal Alouettes 28-22 on Friday. In the NFL, the Washington football team beat the Cincinnati Bengals 17-13, and the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Arizona Cardinals 17-10. On Friday night. Mac Jones on Thursday night, he went 13 of 19 again, but this time looked much more comfortable, much more aggressive. Cam Newton only went 8 for 9 with a touchdown of his own. The QB situation in New England looks a lot better right now than it did a year ago today. Getting into our Women's World Hockey Championship update, Canada beat Finland 5-3 on Friday. The Americans shut out the Swiss 3-0, and the Czechs beat up on the Danes, beating them 6-1. The round-robin action continues into this weekend. Getting into our bump and stump of the week now. Our bump of the week has to go to Henrik Lundqvist. He is retired after 15 NHL seasons. Although he never won a Stanley Cup, Henrik Lundqvist posted 11 30-win seasons, and he's actually the only goaltender in NHL history to win 30 games in each of his first 5 seasons. He won the Vezina in 2012 as the league's best goaltender and led the Rangers to the Cup in 2014. He also won 2 World Championships and won the Olympic gold medal with Sweden, leading them to Olympic gold in 2006. And his resume continues. He holds the mark as the fastest goaltender to reach the 400 win mark in NHL history. He has the most wins by a European-born goaltender in NHL history, has the most shootout saves in NHL history, and he has the longest Olympic shutout streak, ranging from the 2006 to 2010 games, over 172 minutes of shutout hockey. Over the past decade, when he was on, nobody was more dominant than Henrik Lundqvist. King Henrik, as a fan, I just have to say thank you. As a SPORTSTREE analyst, we have to give you our bump of the week. Our stump of the week has to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't care that it's preseason. You can't lose 35-0. They have yet to win a game this preseason. Not that that means anything in the long run, but getting smacked 35-0 and then playing the Jets next week. If you lose to the Jets and go 0-3 entering the season, the Eagles' wings are already clipped before kickoff of the 2021 regular season campaign. So guess what, Eagles? You're our stump of the week, and you better figure out how to turn it around against the Jets next week. Keeping things on the gridiron, folks, coming in at number 3 this week on Tree'sThree is some NFL and CFL action. While I don't give picks for preseason games, there are some exciting matchups to pay attention to ahead of this weekend. The Bills at the Bears, the 49ers at the Chargers, and the Jaguars at the Saints on Monday night. What do all these games have in common? Well, when speaking with Nick Whalen of RotoWire earlier this week on Monkey Knife Fight Live, the rookie quarterbacks are the guys to watch this week.
I think it's all about the rookie quarterbacks, right? I mean, it's pretty rare that, we get a class where pretty much everyone agreed that, even if you were lower on Zach Wilson or if you were lower on, even Trevor Lawrence than some of the experts were, none of those guys, it really felt like projected as a Dwayne Haskins type of bust. And all of them, I thought, looked pretty good in week 1. I don't think any of them really, had a perfect game, but everyone had 2 or 3 wow throws. Fields obviously did some things with his legs. He looked great. It's going to be all about that. I think for me in week 2, obviously I'll be keeping an eye on the Jags and the Saints. That's a Monday night game. I think this is the Jaguars' first Monday night game since 2008.
As for the CFL, the Toronto Argonauts host the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Saturday night at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm taking the defending Grey Cup champions Blue Bombers in that one. At 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the Ottawa Red Blacks are in Saskatchewan to take on the Riders. I like the Rough Riders to win that one. Coming in at number 2 this week on Tree'sThree is the UFC Vegas 34 event. It's Kelvin Gastelum versus Jared Cannonier. We're going to give you our 3 favorite picks to look out for on both the prelim card and the main card. First guy they have to look out for is Roosevelt Roberts. Look for him to get the finish in this one. He's the better grappler of the 2 men, has submission wins on his resume, and I think he takes it to the ground and gets the finish either via ground and pound or via submission. Our second fighter to look out for on the prelims is Bay Malecki. And this one is just simple science, folks. This is a big girl that's very strong in this weight class versus a girl that's, well, rather small in stature for this weight class. Bay Malecki is 5'9" with a 74-inch reach, and Josiane Nunez is just 5'2" with a 67-inch reach. Malecki has tremendous output, landing over 6 significant strikes per minute, and we've seen her get a submission win in the UFC on the ground, so she knows what she's doing. Nunez, on the other hand, is making her UFC debut, and I see her only path to victory being being a knockout in a flurry of strikes, and I don't see that happening. So take the Swede in Bay Malecki. Next up, folks, it's Brian Kelleher versus Domingo Pilarte, and both these guys absorb more significant strikes than they land, and they both average at least one takedown per 15 minutes of octagon time. But here come the differences. Pilarte has a massive 10-inch reach advantage, which is gargantuan in combat sports if you weren't aware. But Kelleher, he's great at getting inside and making fights into scraps, and Pilarte has been knocked out in the first round before. Kelleher, he's the dog. I like him to win this fight. I like him to get the knockout. Look for him to get in tight, in close, and test the chin of Pilarte. Folks, moving over to the main card now with the heavyweights, make sure you lock in Chase Sherman. He has the proven resume in my book. He's as tough as they come, and he lands a ton of volume. He's the younger, stronger man that's more proven, and he needs a win. Also, the nickname Vanilla Gorilla, how do you not want to root for this guy? Make sure you take him by knockout. As for Brendan Royval and Pantoja has never been knocked out, and he's fought some of the best fighters in the UFC. Royval, on the other hand, is as tough as they come, and he has the better credentials on the ground. Pantoja, on the other hand, though, he's the bigger, stronger man. I like this fight to go long, so make sure you take the over 1.5 rounds and look for Pantoja to slow down into the third round if he can't get that finish late in the second. As for the main event between Jared Cannonier and Calvin Gastelum, make sure you take the over 1.5 rounds as the safe play, but if you want the payday, make sure you take Calvin Gastelum, and here's why. Number one, the cardio. Jared Cannonier's never gone 25 minutes. He used to fight at heavyweight, then light heavyweight. He's down to 185 pounds, carrying around a massive amount of muscle mass, and that stuff is heavy for 25 minutes. Calvin Gastelum's gone 25 minutes with Israel Adesanya, dropping Adesanya in the third or the fourth round. He's been in there with Darren Till. He's been in there with some of the best fighters in general. He's in that upper echelon, so I like him to be able to hang in and get a late finish. I also like his durability. He's never been knocked out, and I think he's the more complete fighter. If Cannonier gets tired later in this fight, I think Calvin Gastelum can take him down and get a finish. So make sure you take Calvin Gastelum in the underdog pick, and as the safe pick, take the over 1.5 rounds. Folks, that leads us into our Monkey Knife Fight play of the day, and we're going to play a KO Kings contest. All you need to do is select 3 fighters on a minimum $5 entry. If all 3 of your fighters score a knockout, you're in to win your share of $2,500. If you're paying attention earlier, I like Chase Sherman, younger, stronger, more proven. He also needs a win. Let's take the Vanilla Gorilla. Calvin Gastelum, I know it's a hot take, but I like him in the underdog. I like him to wear on Cannonier and finish him later in the fight. And then I have 2 picks here as your final one. You can put Brian Kelleher in, or you can put Roosevelt Robertson. Both those guys have knockout power and credentials. Trevin Johns is also on this fight. He can get in there too. Why not play with all of them, as you can double or even triple your chances at winning your share of $2,500 on Monkey Knife Fight. Coming in at number 1 this week on Tree'sThree is the FedEx Cup playoffs. It's the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs. The top 125 members teed it up at Liberty National this week for the Northern Trust Championship, and only the top 70 after this weekend will make it to the BMW Championship. Focusing on the Northern Trust now, Liberty National is one of the toughest tracks on tour. Tiny greens, crazy undulation, and over 100 hazards, including 98 bunkers. Our first pick from the Monday Morning Wrap to watch out for is currently leading the tournament. It's John Rahm. I had him on the Monday Morning Wrap, as I said, this week entering the tournament, and I have him again. He leads the tournament at 12 under par after 36 holes and has the tools and confidence to close out the deal this weekend. If we're looking somewhere else, I like Brooks Koepka. He birdied the first 5 holes on Friday, and if he can get hot entering the weekend, look for him to spring up the leaderboard. He's currently tied for 10th at 8 under par. When he wants to compete and gets off to a good start, he's one of the biggest threats on tour. Another golfer to look out for if he gets hot, another golfer I picked on the Monday Morning Wrap, and another golfer sitting at 8 under par. Tied for 10th place is Jordan Spieth. He's enjoying a glorious year, as I said on the Monday Morning Wrap. 9 top 10 finishes and a victory this season. We are witnessing the resurgence of Jordan Spieth. For our trivia question on this week's edition of Tree'sThree, who won the 2020 Northern Trust? We just talked about the Northern Trust, so why not zero in on it a little bit more? Head on over to our website, SportsTreeLTD.com, hit sign up or subscribe, and remember that an upgrade in your subscription is an upgrade in your chances to win up to $15,000 a year. Go ahead and answer that question in the live trivia, and you'll win a pair of MLS or NBA tickets to see any team that you want. Folks, I'm Connor Roundtree, and cheers. You've made it to the weekend.
3,